Hey, g'day everyone, Andrew here, Real 4x4 Adventures, coming to you slightly windy, just off the side of the Oodnadatta track. Now if you've had a look at other videos on the Oodnadatta track, we're about 20 k's southeast of Algebakina Bridge, which is, we've got a video on that one, and so we're still about 140 k's northwest of William Creek. So there's a turn off there. Depending on the sign you look at, there's two signs. One says 19 kilometers, one says 21 kilometers, to go to the Peake Telegraph Repeater Station. So we saw the sign, well, there are a couple of signs, more signs than there has been on anything else. So there's, as you go along the Oodnadatta track, there's a lot of old bridges and there's some ruins. We've been in the Flinders Ranges, there's been a lot of ruins down there as well. Whereas this one had a number of signs there, and we ummed and ahed about heading down, and we did. So the track there, it's about 20 kilometers. It goes through some pretty spectacular landscape changes. There's some amazing rock formations. We averaged about 40 k's an hour down the track. It's a little bit rough. There are some corrugations, not super rough corrugations, but there's loose rocks which are pretty rough on the car. But look, if you're doing the Oodnadatta track, you're prepared for a little bit of roughness. There's a little sign there for the last 2 k's. You pass a ruin there that you can see in my distance, and then you get to the end of the track here. It's a turning circle. Unlikely we'll see another car, but we've parked over there on the other little turning circle there to keep clear in case someone else does come here. So when you get out of the car, there are cattle around, so I conveniently parked with some other people's doors right there near some cow droppings. There is a creek and cemetery walk. We haven't gone there as yet, but the big piece here is the station. But there's some really interesting information. There's some references there to the Freeling Springs. So for those who've been travelling in outback Queensland and outback South Australia, there's a bit of a link for a lot of these, and it also comes down to that original inland sea and the Great Artesian Basin there. So there's some interesting information there. There's a Peake Walks checkpoint. I have some information here on the Mound Springs, the Overland Telegraph Line. And then there's some information here on the Peake Telegraph Repeater Station. So there's a fair bit of history there. It was built in 1871. Again, having a look here at the old railway lines there and the Oodnadatta track. So let's go up and have a quick look. Obviously when it is hot, be careful of, don't know if there's any snakes out here, but given it's a little bit overgrown, actually make a little bit of noise. But it's only a very short walk here. Now there is a fair bit of walking around you can do. I'm not going to do all of that while I'm on here. Peake Station. So in April 1859, John McDowell Stewart set out on his land exploration in search of country suitable for grazing. And on the 6th of June 1859 he came upon the largest springs he had seen, describing the strong flows and beautiful country. So interestingly, as you drive in, we actually drove over a little bit of water. So anyway, and the last little 2k bit that I was talking about is a bit slower again and is a little bit tighter, but we had no issues with our camper. So if you have a look here, you are here, you've got government cart shed and smithy, spring stockyards, men's hut, main house, store, kitchen, the repeater station, more springs. So let's go and have a little look. Now given it is a 20-odd kilometre, here's the settlement well. You can still see some water in there. So look, as per all ruins, they are in a state of decline, but having had a look at a lot of ruins through the Flinders Ranges and on the Oodnadatta track, I want to say this is probably one of the more substantial sets of ruins that I've seen. So look, in my opinion there, if you're on the Oodnadatta track, the road out here is a little bit rough, but the Oodnadatta track can be pretty rough too. So I personally think it's worth having a look. So this is the mess hut. It's pretty cool. Look, there's a lot of birds, obviously with the springs. There's a lot of bird life. Okay, I'll have a look and see what this was. This is the kitchen. See what's cooking. Again, the drive out in itself, I think makes it worth it having a look. It's the store, originally built for the Peake Pastoral Station, 1860s. Cool. And again, from driving along the Oodnadatta track, you come out through these hills in the distance there, and it is a bit of a change to the landscape that we've been used to so far on the Oodnadatta track. This one here is the house, originally built for the Peake Pastoral Station, 1860s. Go in, have a little look. See a fireplace for those winters, a couple other little rooms. There's a car park down there. So the track down to the cemetery and creek is down over there. You can see the tree line, so I assume that's the creek just over there. Let's have a look here and see what this is. The men's hut, 1872. Very cool. And then the smithy, originally built for the Peake Pastoral Station, 1860s. So that one's probably a little worse for wear out of a lot of these. But again, look, given what can be a pretty harsh environment, being a little bit elevated here, you get floods and things that come through, that'd be safe. It'd be a pretty remote life out here, but hearing all the birds, getting past a number of cows on the way in, it'd be a peace. Well, as long as you had supplies, it would be somewhat of a peaceful place as well. Listening to all the birds. Time before TVs and devices and all that sort of carry on. There's the kitchen there that we looked at. I'm going to pop over here and just see what that one down there is. Again, in my opinion, definitely worth the 20-odd kilometre detour. Hopefully when you're travelling through here, you're not in a hurry, so you can explore things like this. So this is by far the most substantial building, which is the Telegraph Repeater Station Office and Residence. Let's have a little look through here. It's a fireplace. Let's have a little look before you step underneath these things. Another fireplace. One of the interesting pieces is, whilst the days can get very hot, depending on the time of year, the nights can get very cold. Let's pop around the back here. Another part here, which I don't know if we can get in. Oh, yeah. There's one more building down there that I will go and take a look at. So yeah, I'd definitely say in that run between Oodnadatta to William Creek so far, and we're not even at William Creek, there is a lot of old historical sites, a number of ruins, a lot of bridges. Look, the Oodnadatta track, depending on its condition, doesn't lend itself to being a track that you hold high speeds along. So hopefully when you're doing it, you're not in a hurry and you can make these little detours, because again, there's probably not a whole lot of people that come out here and see this, unfortunately. The Government Cart Shed and Smithy. Little bird just took off. Oh yeah, a little peek through here. Okay, so have a look over this side here, and that'll get pretty close to, I think, calling it. So there is another little building over there. I don't recall what it was on that sign. Up there it looks like there has been, if the hill's there has been some kind of building into the side of the hill there. But look, to give you a bit of a taste as to what's here, if you're coming through, I think it's definitely worth having a look, and you can explore it a little bit more if you so desire. But if you're driving past and see the sign and think, is it worth coming in? For us, it's a big yes, but you can obviously make that decision yourself. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, if you've been here, if you know a little bit more about the background, obviously I'll do a bit of reading there. We've picked up some information there, and we'll continue having a bit of an explore. So if you've got questions, by all means pop into the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you in our next video.